It's not good enough anymore to have 2 good starting cornerbacks in the NFL. It's imperative that you have 3. Having a slot cornerback like a Chris Harris, for example, is almost as important as having a top-notch starter on the outside. There's just so many quick and elusive receivers now that can also do damage inside. I would say that the 2015 cornerback class isn't great, but it's solid, with Trae Waynes hands down the best group of the bunch. The safety class, however, is not so great. It's pretty bad. Really bad. Really, really bad. Yeah, so just like in my prior NFL draft positional preview videos, at the end of each, I'm going to break down which of these prospects also best fit the Eagles. And if you want to check out my full rankings, click on that description box below. Waynes was already my top-rated corner after the college season was over, but he made himself a possible top 10 pick due to a fantastic combine. While the 40-yard dash is, sometimes overrated when it comes to certain positions, it's not really for cornerback, because if you can't run below a 4.6, you might as well try and make that transition over to safety. With that being said, however, if you're a press corner and you're good at doing that, you really don't have to worry about being as fast. Richard Sherman is a perfect example of that. Well, Waynes ran a blazing 4.3140 in Indianapolis. He has a track background, and you can tell because he's really smooth. He's an easy strider when he runs. Although he's a bit thin, he has the speed to keep up with fast receivers and is big enough to play with the physical ones. He plays with great patience. He's also, able to do that because of his speed. He's good at mirroring wideouts on double moves. He's a very good press corner. He can flip his hips well and run. He doesn't panic. He times his blitzes well, and he's got solid ball skills. Not many weaknesses on Waynes, but, due to his kind of wiry, thin frame, although he's a willing tackler, he's a shoulder tackler, and he's going to have to get better at wrapping up at the pro level. He needs to play stronger. He needs to get a little bit bigger. From cornerbacks, from 2 on, you can pretty much shuffle them around, and you wouldn't get much of an argument from me. Although, my number 2 guy, Kevin Johnson of Wake Forest, I do think, he's a bit better than everyone else. But that's just me. He's very tall. He's long. He can turn and run. He has a strong jam at the line of scrimmage. Plays physical. He's an asset in the red zone. He can win 50-50 balls. He's got good body control. He's agile, quick-footed. He simply does everything well. If there is weaknesses, like Waynes, Johnson is also kind of skinny, wiry, and he's another guy that needs to get stronger. He doesn't always wrap up on his tackles. Jalen Collins of LSU is 3rd on my list. The Tigers have had, outstanding pedigree at cornerback the last 10 years or so. If they call Penn State linebacker U, the Tigers are cornerback U. Collins is 6'1", has very long arms. The one technique I've seen him play really well is the motor press. He's a smooth athlete with loose hips, and he always gives max effort on every play. What may concern some scouts is Collins is a 1-year starter. He started just 10 games overall in his career. He's still very raw, and as a sophomore, he actually lost his starting job and never regained it back. So, there's that on him. But, I think he can make the transition to the NFL. The rising Byron Jones of Connecticut is slotted at number 4. Jones is a guy who played safety his first 2 years with the Huskies before transitioning to cornerback due to necessity. He was the talk of Indy after posting, the world record 12'3" broad jump to go with a 44.5" vertical leap. I mean, that's just freakish. He's a freak athlete. He's better in zone than he is in man. And, he's shown acrobatic ball skills. I'm really curious to see if Jones pans out or, is another one of those workout wonders. He was slotted to be like, 3rd or 4th round prior to the combine, but he now may go in the 1st. And things like that, they always concern me. But, I do like Jones a little bit. My sleeper checks in at number 5. He's not number 5 on a lot of publications, but he is on mine. Charles Gaines of Louisville. He really impressed me in Indianapolis. Ran a 4.4440. He's got major upside on the outside if he, can stay square with his pedal. I think he has loose hips. He can turn and run, quick in transition. Gaines also has solid hands and ball skills. Overall, I think he just he does everything well. And, I think that's going to transition well to the NFL. And has can't get this out. In what has been a theme from a few of my corners already, Gaines has a narrow frame, needs to get stronger, and wrap up better as a tackler. So 3 of the 5, those are my weaknesses. Ifo Ekpre-Olomu, God, I love that name, of Oregon is number 6 on my list. If he didn't tear his ACL before the Rose Bowl, he'd probably be a lot higher in a lot of people's lists. He's an excellent athlete. He has speed, loose hips, good body control, possesses a quick pedal and turn, and plays the ball well. He's aggressive in run support, short tackler. At 5'9", Olomu does lack size, but he has the potential to be a very good slot corner. I'm really curious to see where Olomu goes because he might have been a first rounder, maybe early second rounder prior to the injury. Now I'm curious to see where he goes, and maybe third round, maybe fourth round. I have no idea. So, I'm curious. Marcus Peters is my 7th ranked corner. That might surprise some people. Some guys even have him second, as high as second. Out of all the defensive back prospects, I think he has the most potential of being a bust. Again, I have him ranked lower than a lot of other publications. In the NFL, I see him as a press cover corner with bail potential in 3 deep zones. He's physical, and the team that I can really see him going to is Seattle. Because that's really what the Seahawks like to do. His ball skills are very good. He believes his eyes in the passing game. So, I do think if he does go to Seattle, I for whatever reason, I just think, this is a perfect fit for him. If he does go there, I think he can pan out pretty well. I am concerned about, Peters off the field issues. Washington kicked him off the team in 2014 due to numerous run-ins with the coaching staff. He doesn't always play with discipline on the field. He's committed a lot of unnecessary personal foul penalties. So, those are the things that are going to scare teams away. And, we'll see, is he going to go first round, second round, whatever. So I'm curious. To round out my top 10, I have PJ Williams and Ronald Darby of Florida State at number 8 and 9 respectively. And Oregon State's Steve Nelson checks in at number 10. Williams has size and plays with aggressiveness, while Darby has elite speed. Darby ran a 4.3840 at the Combine. Nelson is another one of my sleepers. I thought he played really well going up against Arizona State's Jalen Strong this past season. So, there's that. Those are my top 10 corners. So let's move on to the safeties now. And let me just say this again. It's a very, very weak class. And that really sucks from an Eagles perspective. But yeah, I'll get to the Eagles in a bit. Landon Collins is the only potential first rounder, and the only really other possible solid safety out there is Damarious Randall of Arizona State. Now, you'll notice that I have some cornerbacks in these rankings, and it's because I think these guys are better off at safety than corner. I have Jones listed among my cornerbacks, but he's another guy who might play safety at the next level. As I referenced earlier, Alabama's Collins is my top-ranked safety. He's a physical, downhill, in-the-box safety who plays with a high football IQ. He does a great job of accelerating through the hit. In coverage, because he's smart, he's never really out of position, and he has good hands to make interceptions. While Collins is, I'll say okay in coverage, and that might be being nice, it's certainly not his strength. He's rigid when he flips his hips and sometimes takes false steps in the middle of the field as a deep post 1/3 safety. So I am concerned about him in coverage at the next level. Arizona State's Randall had a strong combine, and that has helped him separate himself from the rest of the pack as to being the number 2 safety. He has good cover skills. He can line up and cover the slot receiver in off-man or press coverage. He played in the slot a lot with the Sun Devils when they unveiled their zone blitz packages. So, playing in the slot, that's something you think about with the Eagles. Randall, while good in coverage, can be a better tackler. He's not a physical tackler. So, another one of those guys. My next 2 safeties are cornerbacks that I'd move to safety, and they are Quinten Rollins of Miami of Ohio and Eric Rowe of Utah. Rollins is a very intriguing prospect to me. He played basketball for 4 years before playing football his senior season. And despite limited experience, he looked very natural out there. You'd think he was a 3-year starter. He totaled 7 interceptions, which, I think that's kind of crazy, being a guy that, again, 1 year, playing football at the college level. He has a good jam and can mirror and press. He was also solid in run support. Obviously, due to the lack of experience, Rollins is still very raw, still lacks instinct. He gets fooled on double moves, stuff like that. But, he's a guy, another one that I'm really curious to see how he pans out at the pro level because, he's got something. He's got something. I'm just saying. Rowe moved to cornerback in 2014 after being a free safety prior. I don't think he has the suddenness to play corner in the NFL. That's why I think he's better off as a safety. He's tall, he's very long, flashes, press man coverage ability. Rowe will support in the run game, but, he's not exactly a strong tackler or hitter. So there's that. All right, let's run down the rest of my list here. Fresno State's Derron Smith at number 5. Jaquiski Tartt of Samford at number 6. Michigan State's Kurtis Drummond at number 7. Louisville's James Sample at number 8. Virginia's Anthony Harris at number 9. And Syracuse's Durell Eskridge at number 10. Sample's a guy that's really kind of risen up the last couple weeks. And I'm also curious to see, what Tartt can do out of Samford at the next level. Drummond was a guy that I liked. Watching him on tape, he's good tackler and all that. But ever since the combine, man, had a real bad combine. He looked real slow, non-athletic. So, he's number 7 on my list. He's actually lower on a lot of other people's lists. But, yeah, I was a lot higher on him before. Not so much now. All right, so from the Eagles' perspective now, let's talk about cornerbacks first. I can see them targeting Jalen Collins, Kevin Johnson, or Byron Jones in the first round. Collins and Johnson can play man and are both solid jamming receivers at the line of scrimmage. As for Jones, though, if the Eagles draft him, I don't see him playing corner. I see him playing safety. He's a better zone corner than he is a man corner. So, if he was ranked as a safety, he would be second on my list. If he came out as a safety or whatever. So, yeah, he's better in zone than he is in man, and that's why I see him playing safety if he comes to Philadelphia. And, I can totally see him being an option. I've talked about this in prior videos. Chip Kelly has a huge infatuation with athleticism, and I'm sure Jones makes Chip Kelly drool. I'm sure that tongue is waggling all over the place. Chip loves those athletes. Randall is another option at safety for Philly due to his ability to cover in the slot. And I think Rollins and Rowe are guys to watch out for as well. Thing about Randall, though, I wouldn't take him in the second round. I'd take him if he falls in the third round. But I don't think Randall's going to fall in the third round. At least not when the Eagles pick. So, he's a guy to watch out for, though. I've seen a lot of mock drafts, including, the Eagles taking Landon Collins in the first round. Guys like Todd McShay. But Collins doesn't fit the scheme. So, I got to question, some of these analysts. They should know, these teams in the NFL, Collins doesn't fit the scheme. And, Todd McShay, every single week, keeps putting Collins as, his pick for the Eagles. And you got to do your research, man. Come on, Todd. Come on, man. So, yeah, and if you look at it, Philly isn't going to need a physical in-the-box type of safety with that front seven that they have. They have D'Amico Ryans. They have Fletcher Cox. Cedric Thornton stops the run real well. Benny Logan. They all stop the run real well. So they don't need that kind of guy. So that's that. And that, just wanted to say that because this Collins thing to the Eagles to me is ridiculous. All right. That's it for this video. I'm going to be doing more of these. Hopefully I can get these all done by Thursday because I got more positions I got to do. I'm also getting surgery on my mouth today. So, hopefully I can talk after today. But, that's it for this video. Make sure you follow us on Twitter @TheBitterBirds. Until next time, I'm out. Later.